Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 Aquarius. This is G. Two beginnings and one ending. I'm hearing cut the deck, so we'll do that for you. And I've heard to just go ahead and lay the cards down. Alrighty, that's what we're going to do. Your first new beginning for September. Then you're going to have an ending. And then you'll have a new beginning. So Aquarian energy, a new beginning. This is in bonded relationships. Old emotions, deep, buried, intense emotions. So you're likely meeting somebody new, and maybe somebody that comes across in your day-to-day routines, like a peer, a coworker, a classmate, a neighbor. It has something to do with your work projects, but it could just, it's like the mundane routine stuff, which means like it's the mailman, it's the milkman, it's like while you're cleaning the home, this is like Virgo energy, but it's also at the job. So what do you do at your job? Some folks, they have to go and they print off 1,000 sheets of this, right? Or they are a packer or a stacker, or I don't know what your job is, but whatever you would consider your daily routine at your job, there's something about that there's a new beginning. So possibly a release in something, because this is happening in your 8th house, and that is all about a release of stuff. And it's like emotions from the past, wounds from the past. It's like stuff that is super intense. So again, this can have something to do with siblings and coworkers. Now, I mention that because sometimes, especially at jobs, we meet people and we get really bonded to them. You go to your job and it's like your coworkers, you become really close to, like easily, as if there's something about them that's super familiar. That happens because there's soul recognition that happens. It's got nothing to do with your personality. It's got nothing to do with whether you two, went to school together or knew each other from so-and-so. So it's with people who you could literally just bump into as part of your daily routines, or people who are like coworkers. Like, do you have coworkers where you would feel like, gosh, I wish they were my siblings or something like that? There's that deep bond energy that you have with them. And it's because your soul has history with them. So this is a new beginning. So this tells me there's like a new routine at your job, a new work project. And so with that means another bonded relationship possibly coming around the corner here. And it may come through just through some simple routine you do, which means it doesn't have to mean a new job, although it can be, right? But it can be there's a new worker at the job. It can be you have a new project at your job. And so you meet somebody because you're in a different department now, or a different location altogether, right? It could be all of that and more. But remember, you have like this soul recognition thing that happens for you, which is a very, very fortunate thing, Aquarius, because that means that when you hook up with people, there's just this, there's this underlying thing that happens. Now, can this be good all the time? No, there are times when we meet people and we don't know why the hell, but there's like this oil and water thing immediately before we even say hello, right? That's that. It's got nothing to do with, they wronged you, or you have a memory. No, it's like this soul stuff. There may be health issues that are connected to past wounds or emotional bonds through coworkers. So it's almost as though you and your coworkers have history in a way where your souls went through some deep stuff together, and it may trigger issues for you in this lifetime. Okay. Like there may be things and you don't know why, but it triggers something for you. And it could be like a digestive thing even, right? I don't know if that makes sense for you, but so let's flip this card already. New beginning. Shaw. We've got someone who appears to kind of like be in like a monk's robe, right? I call it a Jesus card, but this is Taurus energy. So we've got lots of earth all around. Some say that Christ is associated with the sign of Taurus because there's a peace factor, right? Peace. Jesus made sure that not even one of his lambs was lost, right? And the lambs were considered man, right? That was Jesus's his I forget what the word's called, but anyway, that was his work. His work was to take care of the forgotten, to make sure that no one is left behind. Yeah, we've got even the winged beings present here, a lot of winged beings actually. And so remember, Venus is peace, but it's the earth, it's beauty, it's abundance, fairness, like food in general, because it's earth energy, the five senses, Taurus, sound, birds sing, right? Smells, right? Animals have a scent to them. Food has a taste, but the stunning visuals, the beautiful green landscape, right? The flowers that are present. You see that? And then, looky. What do we have? We have Saturn energy here. So what do we see? I started talking about lambs, but looks like a goat, doesn't it? Because Saturn is the goat. Saturn is the goat energy. Yeah. So we've got a bull in the pasture, that's the Taurus energy, but we also have goats here. The Saturn energy, this energy gets along really well. This is earth energy and this is earth energy. Saturn represents the material and the tangible and the structure and the order side of life and goals, because goats climb, right? Taurus is like my desires. Oh, I love the birds. I love the bees. I love the food. I love the scents. I love the sounds. Okay. I love what I hear, right? It wants everything to appear beautiful and sound beautiful and taste beautiful. Like that's big time Taurus. So it takes what it values, Taurus and Venus, money, what it values doesn't have to be just money, right? I value the birds. I value the animals, the four-leggeds, the no-leggeds. But it takes it and it says, how do I use that and work towards and retain material financial security? That's Capricorn. Longevity with the material financial security. This is like you're making partnerships, bonded relationships, because that's what we talked about in the new beginning. These new relationships, people that you might be bumping into or meeting, or people you already even know, but it's like you're taking it to the next level. Does that make sense? Because this tells me there's a goal and ambition with shared values, right? Shared money, investing for the long term. Wow. Aquarius. Wow. Okay. Next is your release. This is your let go and your release. Now, this is kind of interesting because this is a release and a let go, but it is in your second house of values and money. Fascinating, because your other card, we talked about the values and the money. Taurus and Venus, they rule the second house, and this is where you're releasing, right? So it's like you're making a new beginning. There's like this incoming, and then there's a releasing. So what is this? It could simply be your values, like in your mind, what you value, right? Valuing self, maybe this became part of this for you, because when we value ourselves, we then change what we value. All of a sudden, the things become just things in our world. So maybe there's a release in some of that. Maybe, you're moving or something. I'm not saying that because, yeah, this isn't a reading talking about changing locations. And this card doesn't suggest that, although it does suggest making big decisions and commitments for the long term. It absolutely does that. That's involved in that, that's for sure. And normally when people do stuff like that, either there's a marriage or a business partnership. Sometimes it requires moving, right, to be closer to the job, or, we're getting married, so we're living together. Like there's something quite serious here, something serious, but it's good. It's like, it's something you want. Now this release says I'm letting go. So if you're moving, do you got to sell some of your stuff? Are you, do you have too much stuff? There is a release. Yeah. And so the release may have to do with values that you had that you weren't really aware of. Like you may have had like a lot of stuff and you were just like, holy crap, I did not have a clue that I had all of that, right? Because honestly, you might not be aware of it, but you might be a collector of things. And it doesn't have to be big things. It doesn't have to be. There might even, like one of my housemates, he says he's not a collector. He could live in a closet, right? He said he would rather just travel the year round. But if you were to open his closet door, there's like, I can't tell you how many hats in there. I mean, it's not about trying to talk about somebody. It's like there's this unconscious thing that he has. He doesn't realize that, and there are certain things where he is a collector. Yeah, like open the garage and see all the tools. But anyway, so this is kind of like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like there's this. It's a very idealistic energy. It certainly is. So it may simply be getting rid of your rose-colored glasses. When those glasses come off, we suddenly see what it was that we valued. So it might be the material and the tangible, right? And so it might be, okay, I should probably get rid of some of this. I haven't touched that in 10 years, right? So there might be some of that.